This yellow Demon Slayer deck revolves around both Nezuko and Tanjiro, but are there siblings enough to win games? Let's talk about it. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Mobby here, and today I'm going to be giving you my personal deck profile for this yellow Demon Slayer deck. Make sure to like and subscribe, it really helps out the channel. I upload daily duels and deck profiles for different anime TCGs. Alright guys, so really quick, the game plan here is you have pretty much three raid cards in this deck. 2 Tanjiros and 1 Nezuko. The plan is to go quick, fast, early. Even though this is a yellow deck, there's nothing more than a 4 cost here, and you want to flood the board with high quality cards. If you guys are just interested in the deck profile, make sure to check out my website, mobbytcg.com. There I upload all my profiles and proxies if you guys want to download them for yourself. So let's go ahead and talk about every single card. And yes, these are the these are the action points that I'm using. So here are Nezuko. This is my 0 costs of the deck. So 0, during your turn, if there's a Tanjiro on your field, this character gains 1000. This is awesome for an early attacker. We have 12 0 costs in here. A lot of them, pretty much like it's almost 50-50 Nezuko and Tanjiro. There's a couple of other character cards that are not, but for the most part, if you throw this on the front line and attack for 2500 during your turns, this is a really good card. Unfortunately, no trigger, but that's okay. So really good. Next off, we have the 0 cost Tanjiro. So this is more of your normal basic ones where it's 0, 1500. However, this has a trigger of adding this to your hand. I really kind of like the juxtaposition here where Nezuko gets really strong while Tanjiro is more of like, you know, get this to your hand, the normal support stuff. Kind of works together. And now for your other 0 cost, we have Murata. So this is another card to go early and help you really be more consistent with your 0 drops. So this has step, so it's pretty strong. It's not as strong as Nezuko can be. However, it's good. So once again, this deck wants to run low and go really fast. So this one will help you, especially if you have a bunch of these early games. You could throw him in the front, maybe get 1 or 2 attacks. Ideally, then you throw him in the back line for throwing out more stuff. So now move on to our 1 cost. Here we have another Nezuko. So this is a 1 cost if on the energy line at the start of your attack phase, you can choose 1 character on your front line and swap it with this character. There are some instances where this will actually help. Mostly there's 1 extra card here which you do get a buff from doing this. Otherwise, yeah, it's here to be an early card to throw on the board, a little bit of attacker, but primarily just a raid source. The trigger here is drawing 1 card, 2000 power. Funnily enough, this has less power than this one. During your turn, that is. So we're running 3 of these. Now for 2 drops, this is a Kanao? Is that how you say it? Tsuyuri. Okay, so this is your 2 energy plus. In this deck, we are running a couple. Every single deck, I believe, in Union Arena should run at least 6 to 9 plus 2 energies, depending on the type of deck they're running. This one, I think, is running 6. So yeah, 2500 backline. Ideally, this is going to have 2 in the backline, then you're good for the whole game. So running 3 of these. Next off, we have some 2-drop Tanjiros. This has step, so during your movement phase, he can go front line to back line. And if it's full, you can also swap out from the back to the front. 3000 power. And trigger, this is the active 3000. This is a great early card to just leave on the front line for a while. Next off, we have these Tanjiros here. These Nezukos. So this is a 2 cost when played on the front line. So this has to happen right away. If Tanjiro is on your field, choose up to 1 character with 1500 or more BP on your opponent's field. It loses 1000. So it's a decent card. And unfortunately, you can't use this to KO anybody if you have, let's say, multiple of these, because the opponent has to have 1500 at that time, which means they will never ever get below, 500, so to speak. And the trigger here is active 3000. So these active 3000s are really good. So absolutely gives you more incentive for flooding the board because you'll be able to defend a lot easier. And 3000 attack. So both of these work really good in tandem as your mid game as you work towards your 3+ cost. So here's another Tanjiro card. 3 costs. When played, add up to 1 Nezuko with 2 or less from your hand, resting onto your front line. So once again, you want to swarm the board with Tanjiros, you want to swarm with Nezukos. This will help you really do that, especially if you attack early with these and you block with them. You'll be able to throw something 2 or less in the backline. So these Nezukos here, which is probably the best one. And then you got these other Nezukos here. And these Nezukos. So you have a lot of targets for this Tanjiro to work. So for this powerful effect, you can see here that there is no trigger, but 3000 attack as well. So it's a really good swarming card. Another Tanjiro, this is another one of your 2+ energies here, another 3 costs. So during your turn, once per turn, when a character on your field moves during your attack phase, choose one character on your field, it'll gain 1000. So this will primarily stay in the backline if you can't get too much of your Tsuyuris. And we talked about a card that benefits off of moving stuff. So this Nezuko allows you to move during your attack phase, and this will move during your attack phase. So this is the small combo which these two will work together if you want to, if you want them to work together. But it's primarily here to be a attacker, 3000 and +2 energy. Now to move on to one of our raid cards. Yeah, this is a really low cost one, a 3 cost, a Nezuko. So it can only raid on Nezukos, and we have a bunch back here. So during your turn, if there's a Tanjiro, this character gains 500 only during your turn. So 4000 attacker, 3500 blocker. Then when attacking, choose a Tanjiro on your front line and 1 character on your energy line and swap them. This is an extremely powerful effect. It'll allow you to get in like 5 attacks, right? So you attack with everything besides this one, or at least 1 Tanjiro before this one. Then you swing with Nezuko, you swap that Tanjiro out with, let's say, anything, right? Maybe even the Step Tanjiros or whatever. Then you can attack with that one and get multiple off. So you might not be the strongest attacking at 5000, 6000, but multiple attacks with very high, relatively high damage, 2000 to 3000. You're going to get a lot of value out of this, and it's every turn. So if your opponent doesn't mess with you, you can fill out the board and just be able to swap, attack, swap, attack. It's so good. Okay, so that's 4 of these. Next, we have Total Concentration Breathing. These are your 4 finals of the deck. 3 costs, set 2 AP is active. Final, if this is your last trigger, you can go ahead and heal 1.
How's it going, dude?
Like we got a follower. Okay, Tanjiro. This is a 2 action. This is your 4 colors of the deck. 4 costs 2 actions. So when played, choose 1 character on your opponent's frontline, 3000 or less in sideline. Very basic, very straight to the point. It's a 4000 attacker. Pretty much, if you're not like trying to fill up the board too hard, set this on the front line and then go ahead and KO somebody. You get a blocker, 4000 on the field. Really solid card. And the color here is choose an opponent's front line, rest it, and it will not become active the next time it would come to active. So this is a really good card, running 4 of these. Now for your Tanjiro raid. So this is a 4 cost, only on Tanjiro. This has impact always, and then when played, add up to 1 Nezuko with 3 or less, 1 AP from your sideline to your hand. The best one to get is going to be those raid Nezukos, unless you really need a base source raid source Nezuko. Then you play 1 with 3 or less from AP onto your hand, from your hand, resting onto your field. Now this one doesn't specifically say you can raid with it, so even if you do grab the raid one, you probably can't use it to raid. Please let me know down below, but I have played with cards that have this ability that say raid or play the card. This one just says vesting it, so most likely you will not be able to raid with it, but you can still grab that free raid one, but then you can play a basic, a basic Nezuko. But anyway, it's a really good card. And the trigger here is raid or add if you need to. So running 4 of these. However, we're not done. There is more raid Tanjiros. So we're running 3 of these ones. So, because I don't want too many raids. Right now, if we have the 4 raid Tanjiros and the 4 Nezukos, plus these 3, that's 11 raids. It's pretty good. So, raid on Tanjiro only. When played, if there is a Nezuko on your field, this character gains 500 and impact. Now, this is important until the start of your opponent's next turn. So this one's good because it's impact every single turn. This one's good for the turn that you play it gets impact, but really important, it becomes 4,500 for attacking and for defending. It's until the start of your next turn, so this is really good for defending. And the trigger here is raid or add to your hand. Turning 3 of these. And the last card of the deck is going to be Water Breathing 10th Form Constant Flux. Choose one character on your opponent's front line and KO it 3,000. However, if a Tanjiro, it's 5,000. So that's it for the deck. It's a really easy and basic deck. It's straightforward, really straightforward. It's a easy game plan. Just have a ton of Tanjiros, a ton of Nezukos on the field, and as long as you have one, you know, just try to keep them alive. So make sure to block for sure, but always make sure you have at least one Tanjiro, one Nezuko, and then you're going to be able to use a lot of your abilities. These early raids with Nezuko is going to help out quite a lot. There are cards here which lets you revive Nezukos from the graveyard, so you can really get going and just really keep on the pressure. So this deck, I think it's pretty good. The colors here allow you to KO something. Your 2 raid Tanjiros, one's used for defense, but both of them have impact. It's just a solid deck, and I think it's good if you want to play the Demon Slayer deck. So that's it, guys. Let me know what you guys think about this down below. And as always, if you guys want to see all of my deck profiles that we cover on the channel, plus more that we don't, head on over to my website where I post all of that and more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.